those things mean. I guess the mic's over here. I want to welcome everybody to our awards banquet tonight. I really appreciate all of you coming out. We've got a lot of people to honor. And with that, I'm going to go into our ceremonies that we traditionally do, which I hope I can remember. So, if our honor guard will post the colors.
Honor guard, attention! Post the colors of the United States of America. Present arms.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in the air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Order.
So our Legionnaire of the Year for 2020 is Art Richardson. And his certificate says, in recognition of outstanding leadership and service as a member of the American Legion, benefiting our community, state, and nation, presented by Post 68, Department of Utah, this 25th day of August, 2021. That's what his certificate says. But Art has done way more than that. He's done that. Perfect timing. He is very active with all things veteran-related in the county, maybe the state. He's very active with his church, with the Elks Lodge, and I'm probably going to leave out something, but I don't know when he has time to sleep. He's always here for us, so I don't know how he has time to do the other things, but he does, and I want to thank him. Do we want to open this up? So we always give our Legionnaire of the Year a beautiful comforter or throw. So if Randy will help me, we'll unveil it. Sideways.
Okay, you put it back. I'll fold it.
Anyway, thanks again, Art, for all you do for us.
Gotta go back the same way you come out.
Watch this and learn.
Our second honoree tonight is my schoolmate, Mark Harrison, which isn't the reason he's being honored, but it could be. So Mark is getting our Medal of Merit, and his certificate says, in recognition of outstanding attributes displayed in promoting patriotism in our community, presented by Post 68, Department of Utah, this 25th day of August, 2021. I'm sorry, Mary Ann's not here.
She'll be right back.
So that's what his certificate says, but in reality, Mark has spearheaded the flag retirement ceremony that is such a wonderful kickoff event to our our Fiesta Days festival. He's done it, I said 20 years, his wife said 17, he said 14. I think he's being humble. Anyway, somewhere between 15 and 20 years. He's also retired from the National Guard. Are you actually retired now?
Yes.
Okay.
And then again next Wednesday, I'll have my second retirement.
And he's retiring from his civilian job with the National Guard in employer support
Well,
of the Guard and the Reserve, or?
Employer support.
Yeah. So he also has spent a lifetime dealing with veterans, dealing with soldiers, and serving our state and our country and our community. And we really appreciate that, Mark. So we have an outstanding, or a certificate of commendation for Richard Davis. If anyone in here doesn't know who he is, then I don't know what to tell you. He's been instrumental in all things Spanish Fork. His certificate says, in recognition and sincere appreciation of outstanding service and assistance which contributed to the advancement of the American Legion programs and activities dedicated to God and country. He helped set up Flanders Field for over 20 years. He has donated countless hours benefiting the community. He established a scholarship in his daughter, honoring his daughter Kipling. He was instrumental in scouting and helped many boys achieve their Eagle Scout. He was active in youth sports and coached baseball and basketball. He organized the Christmas Angel Box program in honor of children who have passed away. Presented by Post 68, Department of Utah, this 25th day of August, 2021. But that's not all he's done. Randy sent me a long list of his accomplishments, too long to fit on that certificate. At the end, it said he was a hacking golfer. I don't know if that's an accomplishment or not. Oh, okay. And a wonderful father and grandfather, and husband, and son, and member of the community. He's been involved with the Freedom Festival forever, served 2 terms as a city councilman, served as bishop in his ward, and have I left out anything?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Without his wife.
What was that?
He couldn't have done any of it without his
Oh,
wife.
well, that's just understood. Okay, and our next one is for Channel 17. Pete, and can you lead that, Travis?
But no, I'll take pictures.
Okay, all right. So this is another certificate of commendation presented to Spanish Fork Community Network, SF-17, in recognition and sincere appreciation of outstanding service and assistance which contributed to the advancement of the American Legion programs and activities dedicated to God and country, presented by Post 68, Department of Utah, this 25th day of August, 2021. So that's what his certificate says, or their certificate says, but they have been supportive of the American Legion in every endeavor, like tonight, that we've ever asked them to do for us. Without their talents and capabilities, we would not have been able to do our Freedom Walk this year, which we had to do virtually. But because of their filming all of us presenters and being at all of our other Freedom Walks, which we've had 5 now. We were able to piece together video and still present it to our 5th and 6th graders this year. They were at the Chi dedicating a monument to women veterans for me on Saturday. Just when we ask them to do something for us, they're there without question, and we really appreciate it. Okay, now this is going to be a surprise, which order they're in. So one of the things we wanted to do tonight was honor our World War II veterans. So the first one we have is Dick Hunsaker. Do you want to come up? Can you come up? Or I can just read this. And that's good enough. A certificate of honor is presented to honor Dick Hunsaker in recognition and grateful appreciation for serving in the United States Armed Forces in the name of freedom and democracy, and for allegiance to God and country in courageously protecting our liberty and independence. Presented by Post 68, Department of Utah, this 25th day of August, 2021. We have Mark McKell. Are you able to come up, Mark?
I'm a little hard here.
Okay. Oh. And you know, just standing there is just fine.
My hearing aid Sunday, I'm having cloudy. Say you want me up there.
So while he's coming up, Mark will be 103 next month. So if he's lost his hearing aid, I think that's okay.
Can't hear, I lost my hearing aid. So.
Okay, I'll try and say it loud to you.
Okay, I can read it though.
Okay. The certificate of honor is presented to honor Mark McKell in recognition and grateful appreciation for serving in the United States Armed Forces in the name of freedom and democracy, and for allegiance to God and country in courageously protecting our liberty and independence. Presented by Post 68, Department of Utah, this 25th day of August, 2021.
Well, thank you. I was post adjutant of this group when I first released from the military.
Oh.
But then I got some church callings and I had to divide my time. So, but anyway, I'm sure happy to be here. I'm in another about 10 or 17 days, I'll be 103. So I feel kind of blessed to live that long. But I was the post adjutant at one time after the war ended.
Well, we're looking for an armor. You think you could join back up?
They made me honorary commander, so I ought to show up once in a while. Thanks to you. The Nelson's there. I haven't seen you, Jay Rulin, your wife, for a long while.
And speaking of Mr. Nelson, and I can't call him anything else because he was my principal, and he survived me. Me too. Yeah, and these two. I don't know which of the three of it, and that one. Probably a lot of us in here. Anyway, Mr. Nelson. Okay. Certificate of honor is presented to J. Rulin Nelson in recognition and grateful appreciation for serving in the United States Armed Forces in the name of freedom and democracy, and for allegiance to God and country in courageously protecting our liberty and independence. I'm not going to read this other part about presenting. I'm getting tired of saying that.
May I just say how wonderful it is to be here and see so many old friends, or young friends.
You know, I hadn't seen Mr. Nelson since I graduated in 19... And when I called to...
What year was it?
Yes.
Okay, I'll go with 73. And when I called to see if he would be able to attend tonight, the lady who answered the phone said, well, I'll have to ask him. He just came in from mowing the lawn. And that was at the height of our heat wave. Anyway, we're glad to have him here. Mr. Robertson, or Dr. Robertson.
So he just does that for show.
Okay, certificate of honor is presented to Donald Robertson in recognition of grateful appreciation for serving in the United States Armed Forces in the name of freedom and democracy and for allegiance to God and country in courageously protecting our liberty and independence. Can you say anything?
Well, it's great to be here. We all love America, and there's some challenges nowadays, but thank goodness for the servicemen and this organization that appreciates us.
And last but not least is Rupert McGuire. Certificate of honor is presented to Rupert E. McGuire in recognition of grateful appreciation for serving in the United States Armed Forces in the name of freedom and democracy, and for allegiance to God and country in courageously protecting our liberties and independence.
Thank you. I love this country, and being as traveled to different foreign countries, I know it's wonderful to be here, and I enjoy the freedom as much as anyone here. So my service was mainly for me as well as you. Thank you.
Well, that's
One more round of applause.
okay. One more round of applause for our World War II veterans. Thank you, Lord. Now we have Steve Wilson is going to come up and read the names of our post members who are no longer with us, who passed during the last 2 years.
Hi, everybody. Before we do this little exercise, which is a tradition on the night of our award ceremony, I just want to encourage those of us who are post members and members of our honor guard. Friday, we've been asked to do to do a military rite for a comrade who has passed away and is being buried in the Camp Williams Cemetery, the Veterans Cemetery up there. It's a little bit further to go than normal, but we have made several trips up there in the past, and we've been given a special invitation, and the headline of that invitation was that our honor guard is the best honor guard in the entire state of Utah. And that was how it was sold, not by us, but by those whom asked us to come. The thing that I worry about is that here we tout ourselves as averaging about 30 honor guard members at every funeral. If we show up with 7 or 8, we won't even have enough men and women to man the rifles, much less fold flags and play taps and do what we do. So I would just encourage all of those who can, please make an effort to come Friday. We're going to meet here at the Memorial Building parking lot at 11:30 Friday morning and carpool up there. So I just throw that in. And that's one thing. And I don't mean to take Becky's time here, because I know that you guys all want to get home and get to bed. We're pushing 7:30, and that's, you know, some of you I've noticed, Mike down there has been nodding off a little bit. Yeah. I just wanted to pay a little bit of tribute to Peter Hansen back here leaning against. He's holding up our honor wall back here. Peter is the director of Spanish Fork Cable 17, and I can't thank Pete. I call him Pete, because I've known him for 30 some odd years. They just do a wonderful job for not only the community, but for our American Legion. So we didn't mention his name. I'm going to mention Pete's name. The other thing that I wanted to say before I read this, we honored Richard Davis. And one thing that was left out of his accomplishments that are special to me, a few years ago, I approached the city about that I would like to bring the as a Vietnam vet myself, I desperately wanted to bring the Vietnam traveling wall to Spanish Fork. So I approached the city and negotiated with them to make that happen. I told them that we would raise all the funds necessary. The city didn't have to be involved, but we wanted to do that. I wanted to do that. The Vietnam traveling wall sent me the requirements and specs, and they were very, very stringent and very, very specific about how the wall was to be erected and the platform and the base that was to be built. And I have no skills at anything, really, but I knew Richard Davis did. And so I grabbed Richard by the short hair and twisted his arm such that he agreed to take responsibility for getting that wall erected. And it was erected beautifully, and for any of you that may have come up to the cemetery and seen it, it was a very, very heartfelt event. And it touched my heart, and the thing that touched my heart maybe the most was one of our Spanish Fork residents that grew up in the same ward that Richard and I grew up in, Marvin Lindley, was killed in Vietnam his name was on that wall, and his mother, Fern Lindley, was still alive. And I went to Fern and I said, Fern, we're bringing the wall, the Vietnam Wall that Marvin's name is on. Have you ever seen the wall or seen Marvin's name? And with tears in her eyes, she said, no, Stephen, I have not. I have never seen it. And I said, well, sweetheart, you get to see it. And I brought her to the ceremony. And after we had the words and the introductions, Richard came up with me, and he and I each took an arm of Fern and walked her down to the wall, right to where Marvin's name was emblazoned on that wall. And she reached up and touched the name, and it was just a very, very emotional and spiritual experience. And I can't tell you how grateful I am to Richard Davis for doing such a heavy load to make that happen. So Richard, that was not on your bio, but it's on Steve Wilson's thank you list. Thank you, Richard. We of the American Legion have a very tight-knit family feel. We are together in one cause. We are united in the things that we do, the commitments that we make on behalf of our community, but more importantly, on behalf of our fellow veterans. And just like any other family, we sometimes lose family members. And that's always a heartache and a hardship. And so it's a tradition that we, at this awards banquet, and we couldn't do it last year because of COVID, but we're going to do it tonight, and we're going to go back and pick up those veterans that passed last year, as well as the ones that have passed in this year. So I'm going to read their names. And I know that many of you here will recognize some of these names. They were dear, sweet men, every single one of them, and they deserve our gratitude and our love. First of all, Lad Abbott. Lad was our Sergeant of Arms for a long time. Bert Aiken. Alan Bradford, Verl Danzy, Jay Dredge, my sweet uncle Keith Gordon, Glade Grodiget, Rubel Gutierrez, Thomas Hannett, one of our Honor Guard members, Dwayne Higginson, and Dwayne's brother-in-law just left, darn it. But Dwayne was a very good friend. Thad Jensen. Randy, where are you, Randy? Randy's brother Thad was an integral part of our post, and he was our department or state commander. Richard Johnson, Dr. Richard Johnson, was our post commander. Dean Larson, Mark Nelson. Mark Nelson was instrumental in helping us build our Veterans Memorial, our Veterans Monument up at the cemetery. Mark was a big part of that. Darrell Neild. Darrell was a junior high school teacher and a good friend. Elmer Smith. Elmer just lived up 4th North right here. Great guy. Marv Stewart. Many of you will remember Marv, insurance agent here on Main Street for years. Clyde Swenson, one of the Swenson twins, Clyde and Clede Swenson. Clyde was a very loyal member of our Honor Guard. Jesse Warren, Don Wood, and lastly, Eldon Money. So we love them all and we miss them all. Thank you.